Let's go ahead and get started so we can be true to our time. Ooh, wait. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome. Hope everybody had as exciting of a day as we did. So let's. That's not very nice. Stop. Let's start with something positive. Work today when Mr. Flores and I were tied down in my office doing interviews, trying to get through all of the interviews to fill our positions. So I appreciate everybody's patience and hard work as we were doing that and trying to tend to things after that was all done. So our agenda, I think I had this in the regular report or Captain's Chronicle. Man, it's going to stick with me forever. So end of the year items. Advisory group, student handbook, Opportunity Academy, Summit Freework, finishing the year strong. So first things first, this is probably the first year we're actually handing out these. So I'm going to just you guys can all take one as far as the end of the year stuff. So everybody, I'm not going to read it to you. We don't have time. The first couple of pages are just things to remember as we get to the end. Just general reminders. The light purple sheet, you will have to fill one out for district office, but they keep that. I don't have a copy for that. So the light purple sheet is for us here at the school. You have summer contact information in case that changes. The yellow sheet is your checkout sheet. There are some changes from last year on there. And then the pink sheet is the before and after school duty schedule. So that changes starting the next Monday. The dates are wrong, I think. 13th or 14th? It should be the 13th. I screwed up with the date. So starting next Monday, given our behaviors, we're going to have to step up some of our before and after school, like the issue that just occurred, like having as many folks as we can in the hall to prohibit some of that as best we can. So I think on the pink sheet, it's stapled backwards. The morning slot is on the back. The afternoon slot is in the front. So just kind of focus on that. I think it's the same format. I've just edited a few little things in there, other than dates and stuff like that. But some of the items you could start having things checked in next week and having signed off. Just know that Mr. Flores and I aren't going to check off until the time when we're supposed to as far as signing out. So for those of you with shared building, or that some staff members have 2 or 3 buildings that they're in, we can for sure sign you out. If we're not your home building, we can go ahead and sign out what you have here, and then you can get to your other building and sign out. Some staff in our building actually have to close out 3 different rooms at multiple 3 different buildings. It's a lot on them. So, any questions about end of the year? Okay. If you do, you can shoot me an email. Based on our staff meeting, this is just an update. Based on our staff meeting that we did when we looked at advisory groups, like how do we want to have this set up, I put this up here as more of statement question mark, making sure I understood the majority wanted by pod, by grade. And I needed to put a little question mark. For electives, by course selection. So a parent at one of the parent meetings asked this question. I'm going to pose it to the group. So if their kids signed up, so let's say advisory with electives, so there could be students that don't even have that particular teacher in an elective, depending on how they choose an elective. The parent asked, can their advisory teacher be at least one teacher that they would have throughout the course of the year? So if a student never signed up for, say, choir, and Mr. Buckland is their, I'm not saying either way, I don't mind, but and Mr. Buckland is their advisory teacher, but he never really has them as a student. What are your thoughts on like making sure that if the student has someone for an advisor, they at least have them for one semester. So like looking at, so like art and choir, some of these selective courses, everybody has PE, so that's a little different. But some of our more specialized electives, kind of maybe looking at those teachers and making sure they have those students in those advisory classes. I mean, I'm getting some head nods. Can you give me a thumbs up if you feel like that's okay? Like, I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm willing to talk about it. Okay. All right. Student handbook. I've shared that out with teams and things for edits. Like I think I need to proof through that and get a draft. We have BLT, I think, next week, our final one. I'd like to have them peruse that, and we'll make all of the edits for the handbook to get sent to Joni so they can go to board approval. I will tell you, I visited again at the parent meeting and really was very outspoken about the cell phone policy that we currently have, and that I kind of want to be done with cell phones in this building. And so I opened it up for group conversation. All I said was, here's what the current cell phone policy is. These are the issues that we've had this school year. What are your thoughts as parents? What are you willing to support? What are your conversations? And then I just let the parents kind of give me some feedback. Every parent said, no cell phone at any time, any part of the day, should they ever be using it. And then I wanted to
Texting them.
right.
Why are they texting them?
So then I said,
Not the
calling.
parents.
My mom's calling.
right. So then I said, well, when I'm in a classroom and I see it light up and I flip it over and it's a text from mom, like I said that out loud in front of other parents, I said then that kind of, a kid feels like they've got to answer the phone because it's the mom or dad. So they all gave feedback. In fact, I got emails, a couple of emails from parents. Absolutely no cell phones in the school. That's what we would support wholeheartedly. So I told the parents that I would talk to our staff. If we're like not even, they're like no breakfast, no lunch, no cell phone, like done. So I'm throwing that out there for some conversation about what are your thoughts. Offer, what I would ask is, I highlighted in this link, I'll send this PowerPoint out. I highlighted red the cell phone policy. Actually, I highlighted a couple of policies that we're not consistent in the building on, that are red. And I would encourage you to go in and write your suggestions, your comments, how you want it worded, so that we can get a collective response. I have a Google form. I told the parents I would ask their permission and send it out. So I have a Google form asking parents about 6 questions. Does your student first have a cell phone? Number 2, would you support if the teacher asked the student to turn the phone off and in their pocket? Like, these are all check boxes. Would you support if the teacher asked the student to put it on the desk? Would you support the teacher telling, so like we need to know kind of where our parents are. What are you going to support? So that we can make a collective decision on how best to handle the situation. And at least the 40 or so parents that were there, I felt like the majority of them were pretty supportive of a no cell phone.
Where was this at?
This was Monday night. There was a mix of some 6th grade parents coming in and then some 7th grade parents that are moving to 8th grade, like they came.
The reason why I asked is the population.
It would have been the front order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the parents who would come out to an evening event.
Yeah.
Right, in the storm. Yeah. In the rain.
Oh,
In the storm.
Yeah.
these
So-
are diehards.
Yes, so that's why I want to send the Google form out to all the parents that are coming in to get a better handle on where are our parents, because what's happening is, just like the parent talked earlier, you are not taking my kid's phone, and my kid can use it when he wants to, and like, this is what's going to happen. Like, that's how.
I'm gonna tell you that on.
Yes, I know, but, so,
Then again, Mrs. Green, we had a parent like that, and we did what we had to do, and she quickly changed that too.
it's true, she can, and I don't mind walking the parent, like, that doesn't bother me, I'm not saying we need to cater to that parent, just understanding we have to be consistent. That's that's what's gonna set our parent off. If we have a policy that's a no cell phone policy, and any teacher allows those kids to use it, everybody in the building now becomes the enemy. Everybody. So, that's really where I'm at. Okay, so this is a video from Tyler Swally, who is the administrator. He wanted to be here to actually deliver this message about Opportunity Academy to you. He's at a track meet. So he did a presentation. I asked him to do can you videotape yourself doing a presentation? So that's what he did for us. So I'm going to turn this on. It's like 5.
Hey CMS staff, sorry I couldn't make it. I'm at league track meet right now, so I wanted to send you this video recording over what the Opportunity Academy would entail for students moving forward. Right now it's going to be open to 7th through 12th graders, students who just need a different academic environment. So we're talking about students that maybe are a little low and slow. They're behind on credits for graduation at the high school. Maybe they're very anxious and they need a different setting other than, the 1,000 kids at the high school or the 400 or so kids you've got at the middle school, 400 to 500, I would say. And so this is just kind of the flyer that I've been sending the kids. I've also got an application as well that they will apply for the school. The idea behind this school is that they will want to come to this building. They cannot be forced or banished by any administrators. This is an opportunity for them to take a different path. So to start with, half of our students will be Ember Hope students. So you'll see the 21 credits for graduation. That is less than the high schools. The reason being is any foster care students only need the minimum requirements of 21 credits to graduate. So we wanted to go ahead and make that the same for all of the students. In addition to that, we are wanting to provide the opportunity for some kids that they need a degree. They are not gonna need, the additional electives and things like that. So we just want to get kids the opportunity to graduate high school. So we're gonna have smaller class sizes, 10 students to one teacher and one paraprofessional about for each teacher. And you can, sorry, I skipped over the graduation requirements, but those are there. There will be a flexible class schedule. We're thinking about going 9-week blocks where we do a semester course in that 9 weeks. And so that will provide students the opportunity to really recover credits quickly. At the high school, we have a lot of kids that fail English and math, and they could, in theory, finish an entire year of math and English in one semester, okay? They would work on the class at their own pace. So what that means is at the end of the 9 weeks, if they're completed with everything, they'll get that grade in the class. If they need 10, 11, 12 weeks to get that work done because they're just behind, they missed, whatever it is, their transcript will read as an F for that class until they finish it. So let's say they produce C or B work for that class, they would be able to go back and change that class to a B, because our goal here is to teach the material, have the kids learn, no matter what pace that is at. A lot of times in our classes we have a pacing guide that we have to get through, and that really hinders kids because there's kids that are accelerated and need to move quicker, and there's kids that need a lot slower. And so the idea for that would be that they could work at that at their own pace. So if they finish early, they can move on to another class. If they need more time, they can do that. We'll have some personal online learning. It will be through Odysseyware, which is what Deb Helberg uses out in Rayler Academy. It will be tailored to what the student needs. They will get to select the classes and they will be in charge of their pace of learning. It will also include some project-based learning and cooperative learning. They'll be able to participate in electives at their respective schools if we determine they are in good standing and that is a good thing for them. They'll also be able to participate in activities and athletics at NHS or at CMS if that is kind of what if they want to do that, okay? One of the other things is that they will be provided with Chromebooks every day. Those will be left at school. For safety reasons, They will not have internet access on their Chromebooks. They will have just the OdysseyWare platform to access their information and their learning platform. The teachers will be able to provide some online resources if they need it, but it's a safety issue for the Ember Hope girls. They tend to bring in things or have things dropped off or delivered, or people start showing up where we don't need them. So it becomes a safety issue. Same thing with cell phones. All cell phones will actually be turned in to the office, okay, each day. And it will be a closed lunch, and then students can graduate early from this. So if they set up a plan and they want to start, they can graduate earlier. They'll still walk in May. Their diploma will say NHS in high school. And they have the option. We'll kind of make sure that they're either moving towards a post-secondary degree or they've got a job lined up. We want those kids to have something to work for and look forward to. And if we can, we're going to try and get them some sort of CTE certificate so that they can get a job and have some functional skills. So some of the kids will set up their schedule where they're half day with us and they're half day at the high school, so that they can still take some of the welding and the auto classes that they want to take. So if you have any additional questions for me, please don't hesitate to call. My extension at the high school is 2139, or email me. I'm really good with email, tyler.swally, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Questions about Opportunity Academy? Could everybody kind of hear that? It's really quiet. I will share the document that he had up on the screen. Kind of had some expectations and some requirements that they have been working on to kind of whittle everything down to here's what the expectations are. It's not it's not something that I can say this kid needs to go there. The students that I'm not sure the allowance of time, if they've set a time. At one point it was like a semester in their school. That's what I'm hearing, right? Okay, so I was thinking I heard that. They have to be a semester in at Chisholm or at the high school before we can make a recommendation, and they have to be knee-deep in the GEI process to be considered. So those are just a few pieces for that Opportunity Academy. I know that you'll be hearing more information about that as things get more finalized and as they get ready to do the kick out and all of that. So they do want it to be a place that kids feel safe to come to, but this school setting might not be the best place for them, but that it's a good environment for them to get an education. So it's not a dumping ground school. It's a place they want that's respectable, that kids that really struggle can actually be successful and succeed and get a diploma and at least contribute back to society. So I'm not the best person to ask. Email Tyler if you have any questions about the Opportunity Academy for sure. And it is a work in progress. We met about 2 weeks ago with Tyler and district office and the high school administration, and just kind of fleshed out, had some conversations about what does this look like and things like that. So moving forward.
Are they offering all core classes?
Math, English, science, and social studies. The graduation rate, or the graduation credits, at the high school you have to have 24 to graduate. At Opportunity Academy it's 21.
So we go part of the day there and part of the day here?
At the high school. So like they could take their electives at the high school and they get their core at Opportunity Academy. They could do a blended
Or is there
model.
a middle school trip they come here?
Could still do the same. They could blend the model. I just wanted to keep all options open. If the kids are in band and they want to participate in band, then they'll bus them over here to take band, and they'll take their core at Opportunity Academy. So
Is there an ability to be able to do that, still be based on constant behavior reports and everything? If their behavior is atrocious, are they still going to be
right,
allowed?
I'm sure all those things, just like when it was before. I mean, I imagine that they're not going to set them up here to fail. So I think if the behavior is really tough there, I imagine they're not going to say, oh, let's try coming here, even though they there, but, the Ember Hope girls that we had at the beginning of this year, like, many of us didn't even know they were Ember Hope girls, because they like fit right in. And the only reason they're not here is because they had an issue with each other. So, you know, like, they were gonna do fine in our book. So, we just wanna make sure that we give them as much opportunity to learn and be successful as
What's
anybody
kind
else.
of the range on their enrollment over there, what are you anticipating?
I think the number I saw was 35, there's 35 Ember Hope girls and 35 from us, from the district, about, yeah. But it's only 712, right? So,
Yeah.
yes,
And that might depend on teachers that are hired too.
sure.
If all the positions are filled, then we won't be able to take as many.
But they wanted to do half and half. Half Ember Hope.
Open another cottage though, so that will take some of the district's slot if they get it open.
Sure. They're good questions. I'm glad these ladies are here to help us.
Is their school day be the same hours?
I think there's, well, Sarah, their school day's still the same time frame, right? Same hours, they
It
would
is
still
right
be.
now, yeah, they follow our school schedule, so they go by our holidays and our.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder if you do like a year and semester.
They follow our calendars.
They were considering, at least in the conversation, so you have more, probably newer information. The reason for the 9 weeks course is they would only do one subject. To help them just really focus in on one subject rather than trying to do all 4 at the same time.
Keisha for athletics requires the kids to pass 5 cores a semester.
Right, and that, they talked about all
How's
this.
that?
Yeah, so that's, I don't know. But I know that was on the conversation, so if the kids want to be involved in sports, then they would have to have more than 5 core classes in order to be able to participate in the nation. So I know that was all talked about. It's still a work in progress.
They have every right to sports.
Yep. But they have to be enrolled in 5 core classes. And so Brian was there, and Brian and Tyler were having, and Sheila, they were all having that conversation of how many, how to get them enrolled, and if it's 9-week courses, and they get a grade per semester. So if they do so many the first 9 weeks and so many the second 9 weeks, the semester grade gives them 5, that still gets them to participate. So they're just thinking outside the box, being super creative about how to make sure they have the credits they need to participate. I think it's neat, for sure. Give them a different opportunity, different environment to learn. All right, other questions about the things we've covered so far? I did put a note in here. I'll share the sheet with you that at least has some initial information about that. The other thing I meant to tell you, I did send an email, but not everybody checks their email at like 3:14. Meridian and Highway 50 is closed due to flooding. So if anybody travels down Highway 50, it's flooded. So the road's blocked. Just thought I'd let you know before you get on highway. Last big thing, and this isn't like something we're actually going to get at it. Summit's pre-work, everybody that's going to Summit should have gotten an email about getting in and getting yourself registered. Nope. If you would make sure that you go in and get that filled out. Everybody get that? It should have come yesterday. Yes?
The registration.
Yep. Okay. In the registration, when you register it, it will issue you the link. So we already shared all the links, but when you get that, because I can go in and see like what you guys are working on when you go in and do that. So just make sure, because they want us, Mr. Flores and I, to go in and check and make sure you're understanding the things that you're doing, so that we can get some of those things maybe cleared up if there's some confusion before you get there, and it will be extremely helpful if we can help you with understanding some of those pieces before you get to the training, for sure. So I know it's getting down to the wire. I know you guys are busy with other pieces to this. It's just, it'll be super helpful.
Before we go,
Okay, sure, perfect, okay. Questions? Did anybody not get this, well, I'm talking core. Anybody not get the pre-work or the summit registration? Enter didn't? Check your spam. It could have actually gone to there. And I'm trying to think, can somebody tell me what it was titled at? Does anybody remember? Summit registration? Okay. I couldn't remember, but I'm just making sure.
They were very cryptic.
Okay. Summit registration.
Summit
Okay, just see me after we're done, because this doesn't, Summit doesn't apply to everybody in the room, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What about what day or what time did you get it? May 7th? Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Do you guys know the code for Frontline for the app?
No, ask Jane, that was me, but it just goes in your phone and so then I can't see the picture.
Right, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
But it's different because it's. I tried calling, you know.
Misty would probably know.
it said your administrator, so.
Do his thing, whatever that is. I just want to say thanks, guys. This, I feel like this has been for me, it's been a great year. You guys have done amazing work. And I know when it gets down to the wire, it's really hard to still come in and smile every day because you're still dealing with the same students that you were trying to deal with in December. And it means a lot that you guys are patient when we bring the kids back. And as we have brought back, I don't know how many kids in the last 2 weeks, you guys have all been super stellar. And I know it's like, it's really hard to let that kid back in my class because he's just kind of being difficult right now. And every person I brought a kid back to has graciously had a great conversation with the student, welcomed that kid back in. It just speaks to the caliber of educators you are, especially when you guys are here. So I'm just super appreciative of the work you do and that you show up and you're in the halls and you're helping out when you can. Like for me, it'd be kudos to Miss Tony, who helped my mom, who was having a panic attack today, trying to get the griddle going. And Tony helped her get everything ready, along with Miss Weedy, I think, was in there helping her. My mom always comes away saying your staff is awesome, and they help out all the time. You know, she just appreciates you guys so much too. And I don't tell you all thank you enough. But I am very appreciative. I love coming to work every day. Very thankful for you. I'm looking forward to the next 7 days, or the next 8 days, however many there are. But just know that I really appreciate it. Everyone. So, Mr. Hatch?
Okay, so this is regarding if you do any professional development over the summer, there's not going to be a place to put that in the system in Frontline. So if you do something over the summer, make sure that you keep track of what, when, and where. Write that down somewhere where you won't lose it, so that we're actually going to create a special form for that, and it won't be done in time. So hold on to your information so that next fall, when it is done, you can put it in and get the credit for it that you would want.
So the ones I entered already don't, they're not gonna be there.
Is it for the summer? Probably not.
Well, holy moly.
But if it's there, I'll approve it. The second thing, and this has to do with if we have a professional learning day in the fall, because we won't know that until negotiations are done. But if we do have it, Dr. Ham has said you can do that anytime after the 23rd of May. So you can see that if you did that on the 25th of May, and they didn't have that, then that would probably be a waste. You see what I mean? You're kind of rolling the dice a little bit.
You mean an independent study?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to.
So
They
like there's
probably
something
are.
in Frontline already on the catalog for August 28th. So So if we sign up for it now, it might not be there. We're risking,
No, no.
What else?
I'm talking about if you are planning on using something to get that professional learning date to work it off ahead of time, the comp time that we have done the past couple of
Okay.
years,
okay.
that is not a certain thing. So if you were planning on doing that,
Okay.
and then they didn't renew it, I mean, I'm sure you could still put that in and get points for it, but it wouldn't count for any comp time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because there's one more thing I need to say about that. And it's this. If you take do professional learning over the summer with the intention that it would count for the day that we probably will have in the fall, but we don't know for sure yet, and you don't get that cleared through Mrs. Grieve, you're kind of rolling the dice with that too. You need to make sure that you do something that she's going to approve. And that's if you can't get that approved, because it'll be the summer. I guess that you may or may not see something.
Not when I'm in Palm Springs, I will not see it.
You won't?
No, it's really big now.
In case you're wondering about the negotiation process, the IBB process, we are having our first meeting with the board on the 21st of May. We've been struggling to get everybody together at the same place at the same time, and then negotiations will start in earnest on the 25th of June. So you won't know contract information more than likely, at least the final draft, until we come back in August. If there's anything I need input on, I'll send you all an email over the summer.
One other tidbit change, Dynacal, which is the system on the district website, goes away May 30th. And they're rolling out into Google Calendar. So just know that switch up. Do be checking that, like somebody, I can't remember, somebody sent me an email that Dynacal was wrong on our website, and I went in and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't check Dynacal, because I stopped using it when they told me it was going away. So that was from last year, actually, wrong date, like wrong times, all that. So just understanding that if you put something in or had someone put something in on Dynacal, when that rollover happens, please go back into the school district's Google Calendar and make sure it all got rolled back over. I think they're trying to get that transferred and then push it out to everybody and remove Dynacal. So just so everyone's aware of that change as well. Am I missing anything? I don't want to forget anything since I have everybody right here. I feel like
I have a question for the
Sure.
K&EA members. I've been your building rep for the last 2 years. I am now on the local board. If anybody or two people would like to step up and be the building rep, guys, come on. I would be happy for that. If not, but if you guys would like to, and it can be 2 or 3 people do the job together. It does not have to be one person. You guys can share. Would be so great.